Does Anthony Weiner have any hope of eventually rebuilding his career? For a look at what's next for the former representative, John Stanton, staff writer for Roll Call, is here. John, thanks for being with us tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So does he have any chance of reincarnating himself as a politician?
Sure. I think, there are plenty of examples where members have found themselves in disgrace, have left and come back. New York famously had William Clayton Powell, the Jr., who actually replaced himself, lost his seat, was expelled from Congress, and won the special election to replace himself. So it's possible. In this case, it's going to be a little bit difficult, though, I think, for him, primarily because, unlike people in the past, Anthony Weiner didn't have a lot of friends. He didn't have a lot of goodwill with his colleagues here. He had sort of Chuck Schumer from the Senate, but that was about it, really.
Democratic leaders, you've heard, and we've heard for the past couple of weeks, calling for his resignation, in part because this whole thing has been such a distraction. Does the distraction go away now? Is there anything left to talk about, or will the GOP find a way to continue to talk about this and bring it up?
I think that this is probably the end of it. I mean, there may be some sort of leftover, interest if more pictures come out, or if there is a legal matter that could bring it back a little bit. But I think for all intents and purposes, it's probably done for them, which I think, by and large, all Democrats and even a lot of Republicans, frankly, are sort of happy about.
Yeah, I would say so. Happy to just see it go away. How will this seat be filled? Tom Fitzgerald alluded to it a little bit just now. But in New York, we know the governor apparently has the authority to decide if and when a congressional vacancy is filled. Is there any thought that the Democrats could possibly lose this seat?
There is some thought of that, and there are some Republicans that hold out hope that they could take it. But I think that the neighborhoods that he represents are very Democratic. The bigger likelihood is that his district becomes a victim of redistricting, and they simply do away with it and merge it into some other districts.
And do you have any insight on who's waiting in the wings to be a candidate?
No, that is still sort of waiting to be seen. I think most people were keeping their powder dry, frankly, to wait and see how this thing played out. Because he's always been fairly good at escaping trouble and winning elections, no one wanted to come out and be like, I'm going to try to take this seat from him. So I think over the next couple of days we'll start to see the likely names come out.
I also got to get your take on this. It seems like we've seen repeated scandals involving politicians in the past several years. Are there any discussions going on, if you know, that you know of, under the radar, to straighten up our elected officials to stop these embarrassments and these distractions?
Well, Speaker Boehner has basically told his members that, by and large, he's not going to accept this kind of a scandal or distraction. We saw that with Chris Lee, where they forced him out within 48 hours. Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi has sort of taken a similar line with her people this last year, saying that she doesn't want to see this kind of thing happen, and she tried to find a way to do that with Representative Weiner. I think the problem, though, frankly, is that it's difficult for them to keep these members in line. All of the members are elected officials. They've been elected by the people back home, and they feel that they have a certain autonomy from their leadership, and it creates the situation where you have folks doing things like Anthony Weiner or Charlie Rangel, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, John Stanton, interesting discussion. Thanks very much. Hopefully this is the end of it from Roll Call. Thanks for joining us.